Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? He's the most famous perfumer in the region.
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious...
No, but we've got I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tainari?
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over...
But...
Then she was far too modest. She may not be a doctor by trade, but she has a deeper understanding, not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's condition... As for me, I'll head...
Oh, that's right!
From Emily's letter, certainly, but that was the first time I'd heard of it. The academia produced... I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like I have friends in Sumeru City that can... I'll leave you and Emily to watch over...
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with Emily's master yesterday. We should check on things at the hotel first.
No longer in critical condition, thankfully. My chemical analysis of a goose also went smoothly, although I was able to identify the components that give the substance
Elemental energy?
hard to say. It was such a minute amount, proportionally speaking. I had to use one of the newest tests developed in recent years. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental energy, I doubt it would have. As for whether Master's condition was caused by the elemental energy present in this...
Oh, that reminds Paimon.
I received a message from him last night.
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped. Excuse me? Is Miss Emily here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces!
Kale. Ah, of course. Tainari's apprentice. And please, no need for formality.
Oh, did Tainari send you here, Yep. Master and the others went through decades worth of records last night. Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, Master considered that possibility as well. But the name wasn't the only dead end. Master tried to How is that possible?
It's starting to seem very likely. If we want to figure out...
Hey! Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel... It's locked?
There's no one here.
Lucian! Lucian!
That's Sylvain's voice! Hurry, let's check next door!
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Emily, Emily! My brother, he's gonna be okay, right?
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
No, no, that's...
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone. He needs some space to calm down. Could one of you take...
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, we'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He's like a he may have made some bad decisions and
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is equally painful. All the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship and
if Kyria really was behind this,
Lucien can no longer speak. Traveler, I've got things covered here at this.
Who would have thought? Yesterday's Miss Emily, I heard you're an experienced forensic doctor.
Oh, I'm not actually a forensic doctor. I did take a look, though. Judging by the temperature...
Then, would you mind helping us investigate?
Of course, I appreciate your trust. Many of the traces left behind...
we'll help too. We don't know much.
To tell you the truth, the exhibition has left us quite short.
Pupils are dilated.
And the windows are shut tight too. Well, looks like we've investigated as much as we can. Let's go report back to Emily and Shiam.
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But, entering through the room next door...
No, his reaction to the law...
Then, what could have happened last night?
I agree. Also, I've made...
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to tell me everything you and your brother did since yesterday afternoon. Did you see...
After Kyria attacked Edgar, my brother and I were... and we returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors. The only door we kept unlocked was the one... But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise!
So, no movement from the room next door. No signs of a struggle at the scene.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated, and his skin was flushed. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was forced to ingest anything.
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't... No. Emily, you ran your test.
No, I didn't find...
See? A goose...
That may be true for most people.
Master!
Edgar? You're up.
Sylvain, no matter how hard you...
Edgar!
Even if we could keep it a secret for another... No, he would never... That's Vijava's real name. Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru. She...
Fatus.
The Fatui.
Ah, so you've already detected it.
Oh,
The Auguste flower was created with the mutative and distorted...
The Fatui. Delusions.
Born of a delusion, Auguste contained distorted elemental...
that's enough, Egg. At first, Yelena wanted to keep it. It didn't have any effect on ordinary people anyway. Every day we post...
So you decided poisoning people was worth the risk?
Listen, it's not like it was good for business. But all that talk about a goose being harmful over time, unless you were particularly sensitive to elemental energy or had an entire bottle shoved down your throat like that.
It may be true there are no records, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, willfully bringing a product... That explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kiria's involvement a secret all this time, despite readily confessing the Fatui, delusions, a goose. If the Marashase Phantom discovered the connection...
Ha! If I'd known coming to Sumeru would put a target on my back, I would... All these years without any sign of Kiria, a goose was harmless before.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death? Was that a cover-up too?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to disguise the products circulating on the market, and no one was questioning Yelena's fake identity. But if the Marashase Phantom decided to... Before we could even put our plan in motion, Yelena beat us to it.
But if her goal was to destroy... Yeah, she could have just burned...
I thought about it for a long... Everything she did. One of the reasons they defected from the Fatui was the deterioration of Yelena's body. After arriving in Fontaine, Yelena continued using the delusion.
So she couldn't flee with her brother because she was afraid...
If her true identity was exposed, the Auguste flower and Yelena's own corroded body both bore the mark of a delusion. There would have been no way to avoid suspicion. So, in the end, she burnt it all to ash.
So the wealth you earned from Auguste, it wasn't...
Most likely. Before Yelena died, she said if anything happened... That's why Lucien and I were searching for Kiria, to take back Armora and the Auguste flower.
But why is Kiria out for revenge anyway?
I don't think he knew his sister was near. Yelena always wore heavy makeup around him to conceal her deteriorating appearance.
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kiria what really happened. I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still find someone to blame. It's hard to pull yourself out of that kind of...
Very true. Even...
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't been in such a hurry to capitalize on the perfume, if we hadn't been so blinded by greed, if we hadn't invited the Marashase Phantom to our doorstep...
She knew her limits. She knew her days were... We were just trying to earn a bit of moral. And what we deserve... Lucien's crime.
The only person that can answer that...
Fine.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezhnaya. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. With the exhibition...
The hotel could suffice. You could station a few officers to keep an eye on Sylvain, and although with Sylvain's
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, then I'd just like to take care. As for Sylvain, would you be willing to grant that
Well, all right. The man we grew to know in Sumeru proved himself to be a good person. Your request is granted.
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight? Oh, you mean the possibility that Kiria...
Yeah! All we know is that he uses a goose to poison people. But we still have no idea how to catch him in the act. If he targets Sylvain or Edgar again, we must...
That may be true. But what if we can take advantage of... If we take advantage of this...
Master, no! That's too dangerous.
So, if Kiria learns we're being taken away tomorrow, his last chance to enact his revenge would be tonight. In other words, You want to use us as bait to capture him.
Capture? Not necessarily. I just want to talk.
Afraid? I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. I can't just sit back and let him ride off into the sunset with our fortune. There's no way I... As for the danger...
I'll admit, it could work. We just need to spread the word that Edgar and Sylvain are leaving tomorrow. Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel. If we have yours.
I still have some reservations. But if you insist...
I'll also keep watch.
Although, I think if Kyria noticed another person in the room, he might decide...
You mean if he doesn't see a way to...
If that were to happen, everyone's standing guard. Even the innocent citizens in Port Ormos would all be in danger.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
This old...
All right, we can figure out a plan to keep watch.
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained. He's being taken away tomorrow.
What? He's the one who...
He taught my child how to make perfume.
He hasn't been convicted yet.
Oh, everyone on the street is talking about the room. Let's head back to the hotel and take a break.